All right, hey, what's happening is Jamie. Got about 10 minutes here to do a quick video. I'm going to talk about some stock stuff here in a second, but I want to mention that I feel pretty I feel pretty like dirty and sloppy today because I've been running around chasing errands that had I gotten up early and started my day off the right way, I would have accomplished a lot more. I would have been much more productive. So you can't always change. You can't change what you didn't do, right? But you can change your trajectory, your trajectory, the path that you're heading. And I could tell you, like with these past few days, my excuse was, hey, I'm never really off that much. I deserve to sleep in. You know, I'm tired. I was up late doing fireworks, spending time with the kids, doing stuff, and I didn't feel like getting up, and I didn't, and I regret it. I regret sleeping in, and not getting a hold of the day to do the things I needed to do. Because then I'm just chasing the whole day, you know, trying to get stuff done. And when you run into problems, which you generally do, like let me share with you really quick before I get into this. On my riding mower, I have a Club Cadet I got from somebody I know. It was not brand new, but it works great. You know, good for the money. I think I paid $700. Is that right? I want to say around that, maybe $600 or $700. But it's a a nice mower, brand new. It was like $3,000, and it comes with the mower deck, the bags to put this that shoots the leaves and grass into it that you can double bagger. And it's fun, to drive it around. But the mower deck, the belt broke, and I've never replaced one before. My buddy that sold it to me, who was more than happy to come out and help me, it's pretty far away. It's like an hour and a half or so away, and I'm like, I don't have time. So I YouTube videoed how to remove a mower deck. I figured it out, and then I kind of figured out how the belt was supposed to go on, and I have the tools to do it. But now I had to go get the belt. So he was like, just order one. I'm like, no, I need to get this done. So I spent about an hour and a half driving to different Lowe's, Ace Hardware. Where else did I go? I guess that's it. And I actually had it right the first time, but I didn't know how to read the right belt. I guess there's two types of belts, one for the engine, I guess, and one from the engine to the mower deck. And I couldn't find the right part number, so I left the place that I had it, and I went to two other places that didn't have it because they were closer to my other errands, which were running my girls around. In that process, I threw away an hour and a half of time, plus the time to take the mower deck out. And, so I lost like 2 hours, at least 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours of my day that I missed out on doing some of the things like cutting my grass. I was going to build a little place for the family to kind of put some stone down, and they could put a couple chairs out there, and my mom-in-law and sisters-in-law and my wife like to sit and have Matty in the morning, which is Matty. It's like they put, like, it looks like coffee or tea, and they drink it through this straw. I don't know, you guys probably saw it. There's different names for it. But anyway, they call it Matty, and they drink it, and they sit out there and they enjoy it. And I wanted to do something nice for them. And I was working on my kids' little pool area. It's like a little kiddie pool, and I was trying to put some beach sand there for them so they can enjoy an umbrella, keep the sun off them, make sure it was nice and clean. So my days off, and I'm not complaining, are usually spent running around chasing things down, trying to get them done. And when you wake up late, man, it's just like getting punched in the face or getting a flat tire. It just totally throws you off pace. And I just was not. Now it's 8 o'clock almost, and I did not get what I want to accomplish. I found myself angry, frustrated, because I missed out, right? And I got to go back to work tomorrow, and for the next couple days, and I'm not going to get those things done, and it bothers me. So anyway, you can complain, but it doesn't fix nothing. So you say, all right, what about tomorrow? If I get tomorrow, can I do better? And how can I do better? To do better is get your butt out of bed and go out and do what you need to do, what you know you should do, instead of, how you feel. And how you feel is the discipline of getting things done is not how you feel. If we did, guys, if you do just how you feel, right? If I would eat donuts all day, I would smoke cigarettes, I would watch shows, and just I would just do all these lazy things that are not healthy and are not productive, because that's how I feel. So I have to force myself not to do a lot of these things. This ain't spiritual stuff. This is just like the physical thing. So anyway, that's the first 5 minutes of me ranting about that. As far as stocks go, and what I wanted to mention was, I've been doing pretty well with Tesla. I trade a lot of stocks, and man, I love trading. I mean, I do love it. And as I build this account up, my goal is I was hoping to get to 100 grand before the year end. I mean, we're in July now. I don't know. I still have a shot, but it depends how things go. But I missed Palantir. I got out too early. I could have made some good money there had I just held. But you don't know what the stocks are going to do. So what happens when you have a company like Tesla, for example? I mean, could be again, I like to say, could be Microsoft, Apple, Coca-Cola, I don't know, Google, Amazon, whatever it might be for you, that you like the company and you're not investing, you're trading these stocks. So if you buy and hold, that seems to be the best strategy in my opinion, if they're companies you like. But when I'm trading and I like that price action type stuff, what I found is, let's say you own a stock like Tesla. Now, my average shares were 139, 140. And I had averaged down on the downside when I was getting clobbered. And I went from 236, and it went all the way down to 100, and I was buying on the way down. I had 300 shares, and I was down almost 20 grand. I was down like $18,000. Averaging in. I was like, oh, okay, average in. And then it went lower. And I averaged in. No, I went lower. And I averaged in and went lower. And that was during the Twitter saga. And in hindsight, it's 2020. If I could look back and go, oh, I know it's going to come back to 270, 280. So who cares? But you don't know. You don't know if it's going back to 100 or 60. They were talking about $60 at the time. So I was like, man, let me get out of let me sell these other 200 shares, because if it breaks 100 and it gets down to 60, I'll add more then, right? So it never went below 100. It started rally up, and over the past 6 months or so, right, it's been on an uptrend. I did buy 100 and something more shares. I had 200 and something shares, but 235 shares. I didn't get up to 300, and that brought my cost average in my trading account up to around $200 a share. If I buy in again, where I'm waiting to see how it plays out, I'm like, do I buy more now? I mean, do I think it's going to go up to 300 and then rally up to 400 before the year end? Possibly, right? It's very possible it could do that. But if you buy those shares at 280, then understand that if you own the shares at 140 or 200, your cost basis is going to go up. So you just have to make a decision. If you buy the shares, and then as it goes up, if you said, well, I bought it at 280, now granted I already own 100 shares, if it goes up from 280 to 300, I make $20 a share, and on $20, I'm going to make $2,000. Understanding that my cost average will no longer be 140 or now 200, it's going to go up even higher. So what is one of the things that you could do to offset that? Well, you could, if you buy covered calls. If you buy calls, not sell covered calls, then you're basically committing to the premium of whatever that covered, I love covered calls. So I don't do this very often, but today I found myself saying, okay, I don't want my cost average really to go up anymore right now, because I'm not sure what's going to happen. So I'd gone up to 235 shares. I got down to 125. And, I have some extra money there that's kind of like, what do I do? And so I bought 25 calls. I mean, out of the money, they expire on Friday, the 7th, with no intention of keeping them but a few hours. And it went up. I was up $100 and I didn't sell. I was like, I need a little more than that, because my risk was 1,000. So I was up $100. So I mean, I was up 10%. But I'm looking at the $100 and I'm like, that's not enough. I want to make $500 a day, right? And I've made $2,000 and $5,000 in a day, but I've never averaged $2,000 to $5,000 a day. I've been averaging $200 to $500 a day, depending on what's going on. And sometimes I'll do nothing because I'm not sure what to do, so I'll do nothing. I'll just wait. So if you buy a call and you pay that premium, in this case, my premiums were, I'd have to pull them up, but they were like pennies on a dollar. So to buy 25 calls cost me $1,000, right? And I'll throw that in there. So I was like, man, if it expires Friday, that was a boneheaded thing to do. I only have 2 days. And if it plummets, if it drops, and Tesla's known to drop, that's it. I lose $1,000. The good news is I can only lose 1,000, right? That's the most I can lose, but I'm not going to recover. I don't have enough time to recover. But if it goes up, and it did shoot up, it went to $283, down from $278, then you don't have to make $500. Look at the percentages. And if you're making 10% on your money, I risked $1,000. If I was up $100, and then I sold 15 contracts back, and I have over 25 grand in there, so there's no PDT, no pattern day trading rule that applies to me. But if you buy them back, who cares, right? Like you made $100, you made 10%, and your cost average didn't go up; it stayed the same. So I'm not a big advocate of especially on an expiration date of a couple of days. But if you're going to trade, right? Like if my intention was my day off in between everything I was doing, I was like, let me just do a little something because I think there may be some upside there, and I'll wait and see what happens. I hit the number I wanted to, but I got fixated on the number of profit, not the percentage, and that was a mistake. But the one thing I did like is my cost average didn't go up anymore. I mean, you could make $600-700. We're getting to that higher premium now for covered calls. You might make $600-700, depending where you fall on that. If you're right below the strike, or just in the money versus just out of the money, or at the money, then basically you could make anywhere from $400 to $700 per contract. So I'm like, well, I can make let's say $1,000 for 2 contracts. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. If you do that each week, I mean, you're making $4 grand a month, right around there, $4 or $5 grand a month. And I like that. I mean, I like that income, even if I lose the shares. Now, granted, it could shoot all the way up to 400 over the next few months, possibly hit those all-time highs. In this case, I'm just using Tesla as the example, but that is what trading is. Most people buying shares are selling them back anyway, right? When they make a profit, they just sell them, and then they just do it over and over again. So if you're not investing in the company, then that is one thing that you could do to not see your share price cost average go up, is just buy some covered calls. Whether you're going to day trade or swing trade, I would suggest probably putting your strike price out a little bit further. You know what I mean? Like your expiration date a little bit further, so that you won't feel that pressure. Like, oh, what happens if, maybe a month out? I like to go 3 to 6 months in most cases, but I did it just a few days because I was only planning on doing it for a few hours. And if you're not paying attention, that's the downside of it, is if things don't go your way because you're distracted with other things, you're not focused on that, then you get stuck and you're just going to take a loss. Anyway, so that's my thought here today. I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.